For this video, I am wrapping up SAPO week. We have played SAPO essentially in every color combination. We've done yellow with all of them except for green. So we're going to do that today. This time around, again, we're playing that same yellow control core, but these are the green cards that we are choosing to include. And grinning kolobok's mostly here because of ramp, and you've heard my stance on this card. Born Again is just a great stall card, detained, deported, good utility. Choosing to also include Led Astray, great. Traitorous Murmur, amazing. Invisible City for card draw. We don't care if our opponent gains life. We're playing a long control deck anyway. And then a couple of Bald Mountains and one Garden of Iriy. Garden of Iriy's here so that we can hopefully just keep bringing Harvester back, for example. Things like that. The Bald Mountain, this is here because we're hoping to use some activations to get back cards like Misanthropia so that we can keep wiping the board. And both Bald Mountain and Serpent's Den work well together because if you put the mountain next to it, over time you can move your serpents over and use them to activate and not have to feel like you need to deploy there, things like that. So anyway, we're not going to go too deep into it. At this point, if you've been watching this series, you basically know how this works. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to jump on the ladder. We're going to play 2 games, win or lose. I always hope for more wins than losses, but if you watched yesterday's video, you know sometimes I just throw games. I'd like to think that I'm just like a model of perfect play, but the reality is I just throw games. It happens. Sometimes my mind wanders. Sometimes I get distracted. Sometimes I'm getting messages from the wife and kids, or maybe I'm filming at the early AM and it just looks like it's during the daytime, but the reality is that I should have been in bed hours ago. So, you know, it happens. But we're going to do it. 2 games, win or lose. Taking a little bit to find an opponent here, but I'm sure we'll find one. I'm getting close to gold. I don't know if you guys can see that there. I'm up to silver 9. Again, I did not do a lot of grinding because I was traveling for TwitchCon. So, this is a Rhino Hunter here. This card back means they've beaten a developer. Also means they were likely around during the alpha. So they will be a very tough opponent, a very seasoned opponent in all likelihood. So we're sadly going to burn our SAPO because we are a long ways away from playing that. And just develop a maze here. So they're playing purple, but with Journey, this could be some kind of mid-rangey deck. I just see a Ronin go away as well, so that seems ever so likely as well. Could be mono purple, potentially. Let's go ahead and draw our card before we decide what we want to burn here. And I think we're going to actually burn this and just go ahead with a cycle. So by burning a green card there, we have flexibility. Next turn, if needed, we can burn a second green card to play Led Astray or Garden if we don't have anything better. At 1 yellow, we can still play the Poxbringers if necessary. It's going to largely depend on what they develop. Like if a Ninja comes down here on 3, then we'll just Poxbringer. Okay, so there's the red, and there's the Ninja. Right on schedule. So at this point, we'll actually burn our Wonder Drug instead. And just get rid of the Ninja. We don't want any part of that. Gonna be taking some damage, but it's to be expected. Got a lot of quality resources in our hand, but it's going to come down to whether or not we can stabilize. This is going to be a deck with some pretty serious threats, I imagine. So do we have the tools to survive? I'd like to think so. Again, cards like Bald Mountain really help out with our longevity because if we can play this early to stabilize, we're not down to just the 1 left in our deck at that point. You can use Bald Mountain to get things done as well. Our opponent taking their time. Gonna go with the bull here. Might just poxbringer that as well. Could also move this and play our little luchadorable person, but again, we run this because we don't care if our opponent gains health. Could also just use led astray here, but I think I prefer the idea of just catching this. Now they will get the one more activation because this will go to an O2. But then after that it'll go away. So Invisible City here is a great source of card draw when we get to the late game. I don't run, in my yellow core, I don't run the yellow draw 3 cards spell. May or may not be a mistake, but in a lot of my games I find that I'm struggling to find an opening in tempo to play it. Against aggressive decks, you're kind of on your back foot the whole time. And I don't know, most of the time when I've played that card, it feels like it's a win more. Because I have to be in a safe place to afford spending 5 mana to kind of do nothing. You could make the same argument for something like this, but at least this, like once you invest it, it's kind of a lot of long-term value. This also has secondary effects, right? Like in theory, this giving something lurker is very relevant, so Sapo's a choice pickup, but we're likely going to play this led astray. Just send that packing. So this is what they're going to get back their first time, which is annoying, but not the end of the world. We want to burn something here, but then we're just going to end up playing mend. So the question is, what do we want to burn? I think getting rid of garden here is also fine. That leaves us with our best source of options on subsequent turns here. I mean, I kind of wanted to keep garden because at some point if you slap that down and then you get your harvester rolling, that's really nice, but okay, well. That is going to get luchadored. No questions asked. But we do still need to burn a card because we would probably like to Sapo it on the following turn. We're going to draw 2 cards next turn, so hopefully one will be a yellow. I think we get rid of the Born Again here, just to keep things rolling. Because I would like to keep these if possible. But if we have to Sapo this, we have to Sapo this, so it is what it is. That's an ankle biter. Alright, so we did not find another yellow card. I guess maybe we get rid of Misanthropia if we want to keep the Harvester. We do have a lot of other like decent removal options. Could also just bounce this with our Detained Deported. Or Led Astray. Actually, I'm a big fan of Led Astray. Save the Detained Deported. So let's go ahead and do that. Actually, if we get rid of the Detained Deported, we can also Invisible City. Draw more cards. Like, this is going to get the breach, but I don't think I care about that. I think I like this the most. And again, we don't care about Invisible City because, like, if they gain health, then whatever, they gain health, right? Who cares? So this gets to poke and breach. You know, annoying, but not the end of the world. Only a small handful of cards in hand. Hopefully they don't have a good answer for this, but with red, lots of ways you could ignite it, rush into it, etc., to keep me from drawing extra cards. Rogue Vocaloid. Fair enough. Alright, so now we just Sapo that thing, right? Like all day. I mean, it means giving this up, but we've got to go to that 3 anyway. That's a big, resilient threat just sitting there. What do we have here? We have effigy and 2 led astrays that we can start getting back with Bald Mountain. See, the trick is this has been here so long that we can slap Bald Mountain down if we don't want to play Harvester, and then just start giving ourselves some spells back, which is a lot of fun. Like, it's a great way to potentially protect this by hitting something like this with Led Astray, for example. Led Astray, or aka lettuce tray. If you guys want a tray of lettuce, you have to go out into the forest. Oh yeah, we're getting back that lettuce tray. So we draw a couple of cards here. Actually, hold on. Before we make a big play mistake here, if I do this, which I desperately want to do, Led Astray costs 2 still because of the reduction. Alright, just making sure. I was about to just snap it because I'm like, okay, this makes sense, but I just wanted to make sure that I could still actually play this before I looked like an absolute, you know, knob there. So now we're in a good spot because we can get back another Led Astray to deal with whatever they play, potentially the ninja. Libre can stun this. Sapo's still drawing me 2 cards a turn now and pushing 8 damage. I think barring something catastrophic, I think we've got ourselves in a good position for this game.
Easy money.
Alright, Ronin and the ninja come down. Changes things a little bit, right? So like this can do this here. This can stun here. Gets the damage in, and we could burn this so that this can contest here. So this is expendable. It can turn around and come right back anyway. This just buys us time to get even more activations, get back that effigy and cycle. But again, like, Sapo's the big deal here, right? I'm glad that our last video for Sapo Week is featuring some amazing Sapo moments. This guy is holding down this invisible city. Just dealing damage, drawing 2 cards a turn. Look at this glorious Lizard King. And again, with them only 1 card in hand, not many outs here. I think we're in a good spot. Like, they can gain some health back, obviously. They have the life tap on this breached unit. Wouldn't be shocked to see them potentially use Impel to move it and put some damage on Sapo, because that's the only way they're going to get rid of him. Or maybe they just Impel and then move him. No, they're going to go that route. Okay. That does not answer Sapo still. So let's get that damage in. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a free effigy, because why not? We're gonna again protect our statue. This statue just getting the job done. This will actually protect Sapo as well because of the lurker portion. Born again gives us that option. And I think we just take the heal here. That's fine too. But with only one card going in hand here, and that's a very menacing Sapo, I think we're in a good spot. Out of things to bring back with Bald Mountain. But again, this Bald Mountain, it did work, right? And between that and this invisible city, we absolutely got our money's worth, if you will. And now they need a blocker for Sapo. They likely do not have it. We get the surrender. Good game. That is a lot of fun with Mr. Sapo there. And that's it. One game left for Sapo week. One game left. And I know I'm jinxing this by saying this out loud, but we really want to win here. It would get us up to silver 10. But I also just want to end on a win with Sapo week. You know what I mean? But I know I'm jinxing myself by saying this. As much as I really want to keep this serpent done here, I think it's more important to keep the removal early. So we're actually going to ship that to play the maze. I know I've jinxed myself now. Oh well. The previous game was good with Sapo. Oh wow, yeah, purple with Master of Shadows. Alright. I see you, I see you. This did a lot of work for us last game, but I think it's correct to burn this. We could use the detained if we wanted to buy ourselves some time there, because this would go to 2 on my next turn. And then if we had another answer for it, we could like poxbringer and do it, and then it would go to 3, but that's a lot of investment just to cycle that. And I don't think that's correct in any way, shape, or form. So we're just gonna amend to bump up our health. And then pass. Because we don't have any of our AoE removals, so we're gonna have to use these spot removal options to slow down our opponent, I think. Alright, so they are on purple blue. Bring in some heat. We'll do one of these for now. Wonder Drug will be our likely burn next turn, though we do get to draw 2 cards, so we'll wait and see. We could also burn the ring. I suppose the ring is at super high value quite yet. And if this is going to be a very aggressive deck, keeping Wonder Drug around could be a very big deal. Oh man, yeah, they're burning, churning and burning. So I think the ring definitely goes here for now. This is just gonna get shuffled. It's interesting because we can target this if it is wind but not smoke. It was wind. Okay. I do love me some Traitorous Murmur, I will say this. So, like, 2 of my favorite mythics available as far as, like, just dropping bombs. Moderately annoying. Let's get rid of this for now. Now, if this is wind again, like, this is going to be able to shoot me for 2, which is annoying because it's actually 3. But at least we... At least we get the old blight on it. Strong chance Zolea just bites it here, but not much we can do. Alright, so that one is likely smoke. Oh no, Racer. Oh, so this has got to be Master of Shadows. Ah! Because these are coming down as stealthed. Okay, so that does tell us Master of Shadows. And now we don't know what this is, but we know that it could not have cost a lot. So it's probably not worth our time, just for example, to do anything other than stun it, right? Like, if it's a cheap card, you don't want to Traitorous Murmur that. You want to save this for their bombs, so we'll just go ahead with the stun. Could use Detained here just to take less damage, but this has got the blade on it anyway. We're getting a pretty comfortable life total. Yes, something come down as stealth here, but with only 2 cards in hand this round. Alright. So that cost 4. And that's a big boy, so that's actually Murmur worthy in my mind. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Now it's just going to end up dying, just so we're clear, because if they're smart, they'll use the impel to come on over and hit it with the lethal. Or deadly, or poison, or whatever it's called in this game. I always forget. But that... And this is also... This has got agile, so they're going to give themselves a scroll here as well. But again, the point here is we're making them use it, so... Wow, they're not going to impel over and take out the 6/5. I am shocked. Absolutely shocked by that interaction. So this is going to go down again with Blight. Can make this trade here, so it's like a 2-for-1. And we can at least hit this with the old Detained. And ship this back so we're at least up to 7 for going forward. Make a den here and still give us the men. Help us with the old life total. I think we're in a pretty good spot now. We're down to just the 1 card per turn for a bit. So like this is moderately annoying, but it's not the end of the world. Our choices are... We have Harvester, Deported Still. I actually feel like Sapo's fine. Like, if we take the 4 here, it could be 5. Like, whatever, right? Like, we're gonna just make this giant warded Lizard King. I think that's fair. Like, it's relevant because they have this, so they can give this life tap. Okay, the Lantern Colossus. I see it. I respect it. I mean, we'll just take the trade, drop the Harvester here. Could burn Maze if we really wanted to mend. I think I'm comfortable with the 5. health on Sapo for now. Like, mending is important because, again, with this having warded, there's not a lot of ways that they're going to have to deal with it. So we can hit this with a stun, which is rather nice. And I think now we actually send this back because we're going to move this, but we want this ring to let us really start getting our value in. So they finally hit fall. They're drawing 2 cards. That's a bit dangerous. But we're at the point now where we're going to start pushing a pretty significant amount of damage. So we're going to make them play defense.
Is that all you've got?
They've done this, which I can appreciate, but we're just going to bounce it. Because I don't want them to have the life tap. I have this hit here, this will push here. And I actually think we're going to just drop this here. And then heal. And the reason is because now this has Lurker. Like, we can always use this next turn to bring back Detained and Deported. But the idea was, yeah, there we go. You get the concede. GG. Sapo. This is a great way to end Sapo week because Sapo came up absolutely monstrous in both of these games, and that feels good, right? If your entire gimmick is let's celebrate Sapo, we got to do it. Got to go to silver 10, so we're that much closer to gold finally. So I don't feel like, you know, such a pleb. But this is awesome. I had a great time. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Consider subscribing, and I hope to see you in future videos.